Hey yo! Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Today I'm going to give you the essential must-haves for Batman in comics. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is a lot of people ask me about what are the must-have Batman stories to get. You know, what are the essential Batman stories to have? Whether it be new comic book readers that want to get into Batman that just don't know where to go, or old comic book readers that are trying to get back into Batman but haven't picked up a comic for 20 years. So this video is going to give you the bare essential Batman stories to pick up. Now the reason why I say bare essential is because these are stories that are important to the Batman mythos, or are just amazing Batman stories. But I'm also considering price. There's going to be a lot of Batman stories that are A+ stories that won't be in this list. The reason is not everyone has the money to buy every single amazing Batman story. I'm only doing the bare essentials. Again, the bare essentials. You know, considering price and considering what are must-haves. These are for new comic book readers to get into Batman. Now, don't worry. I'm going to be doing a Batman timeline video later on this week, which gives you every other great Batman story that I don't list here, and all the other Batman stories in the modern continuity that I at least have. But at this point in this video, I'm only going to do the bare essentials, and only from the modern continuity. There's going to be no Golden Age and no Silver Age. If you want Golden Age, pick up the Batman Chronicles series. If you want Silver Age, then go for the Batman Showcase Presents series, both of which gives you exact chronological order of Batman stories. With that said, let's get into this video, talking about the essential Batman comics for the modern continuity. Starting things off is, of course, Batman Year One. Now, this is a fantastic story, giving us the first year of Batman's career in Gotham, given from the perspective of Commissioner Gordon and Bruce Wayne. It's a phenomenal 4-chapter story done by Frank Miller that sets down the foundation of Batman in the modern continuity. A must-get for all Batman fans. Because of DC's Zero Hour, Batman Year 2 and 3 have been removed from the Batman timeline, and instead in their place for Batman's second and third year, we get Jeff Loeb's Batman Long Halloween. This is a fantastic story, which Batman has to go and find the Holiday Killer while dealing with many of his rogue galleries. It takes over a year of Batman's career to deal with this case. There's a lot of plot to this that deals with not only Batman's rogue gallery, but also a lot of the crime lords in Gotham. It's a fantastic story and should be picked up by all, and essential in Batman reading. Now, on a side note, even though it's not quite as good as the story, there's also Batman Dark Victory. Now, the only reason why I would ever claim this as an essential is because it introduces Dick Grayson to the modern continuity as the first Robin. Now, if you like Dick Grayson, you really want to see how he becomes Robin, check this out. But besides that, it's not overly essential, besides that point. Moving on would be Batman, The Killing Joke. Now, this is a great story that showcases Batman's relationship with his arch nemesis, Joker. It shows it more to be than a pow, kick, punch relationship. There's a lot of depth and a lot of history with these guys. So this is a definite must-read for Joker fans, and a must-read for people that want to enjoy a great Batman story. Moving on from that would be Batman Death in the Family. Now, this is a great story that adds to the Batman mythos. And where it may be just a good story, it does showcase the death of Robin. Now, don't worry, this isn't Dick Grayson. He's already Nightwing. He's already moved on. This is Jason Todd, who's either loved or hated by the general public. And it was up to the fans to call in to see if he would live. And guess what? He did it. Like I said, this is just a good story, but it adds a lot to the Batman mythos. It's a big event in the Batman timeline, and it sets the stage for a lot of the Batman stories to come, because it sets the tone of Batman being much darker since his comrade fallen. Good story, should pick it up. Now, this is one of the two stories that I'm really hesitant on whether or not to suggest it to you guys. It would be Batman, A Lonely Place to Die. Now, this is a fantastic story. Introduces Tim Drake as the third Robin. I really enjoyed it. The problem with it is $35 to $45 online. It's an out-of-print story, and finding it in comic stores is impossible. So you're going to pay a lot if you want to get the story. It's really up to you whether or not you should get it. I do consider it essential, but if you're low on cash, you might want to hold off on it. But Lonely Place of Dying is a great story. Moving on would be My favorite Batman story of all time, Batman Nightfall. This is a fantastic 3-novel story that showcases a hero's journey fighting unstoppable odds, overcoming all of them only to be taken out by the beast known as Bane. You get also the introduction of Asbat in here, Azrael as Batman, who's an interesting take on how Batman could turn out. We also get to see the rebuilding of Batman as a character, Bruce Wayne taking the many steps to become Batman again, finally coming down to the showdown between him and Azrael for the title of Batman. And it actually showcases him working his way back to being Batman. Not just one issue of him training. There is a whole graphic novel of him training to go up against Azrael as Batman. This is definitely a must-read, and is my favorite Batman story of all time. Moving on, this is the other Batman story that I'm not quite sure I should recommend to people, and it's because of money reasons. That would be Batman Cataclysm in the No Man's Land series. Now, this is a great Batman story series, which adds to the Batman mythos. A lot of things happen in this. But the problem with it is it's 6 volumes long, including the prequel. So that's a lot of money, $20 per volume. If you plan on picking this up, I suggest picking up a volume of this each time you pick up a Batman comic. So if you pick up one of Batman's Nightfalls, pick up a No Man's Land series. Or Batman Death in the City, Batman No Man's Land number 2. Or Batman Nightfall number 2, pick up No Man's Land volume 3. If you pick them up over time, spread out, you'll pay the same, but it'll be easier on your wallet. Great series, it's just a matter if you want to spend the money. Moving on from that would be Batman Hush. Now, Batman Hush is either loved a lot by fans or hated by fans. But it doesn't matter. This is a good Batman story that really adds to the Batman mythos. It's a great gateway story, too, for new Batman readers, because you're introduced to all the Batman villains and many of the Batman supporting characters. The relationship of Batman and Catwoman flourish here. In addition to that, we get the introduction of Hush and the reintroduction of a former Batman ally. Good Batman story, and I do recommend picking it up, even though some people do think it sucks. Moving on to that would be Batman Face to Face. Now, this is the 1 year later story, and it's a good story. And it may not be the best Batman story, but it does set the tone for Batman since the Infinite Crisis. His relationship with Robin, what happened to Gotham since he's been gone, and the reintroduction of Two-Face as a villain. It's a good Batman story, and where it may not be the best, it does help push Batman into the new century. Next would be Batman and Son. Now, Batman and Son is not a good story, not alone, but with the rest of Grant Morrison's work, it flourishes. Like I said, this story, if you read it alone, you will not be impressed. But reading it with everything else Grant Morrison has done, this sets up the foundation. It is essential if you're going to read Grant Morrison's run, because characters are introduced and plot holes are shown. Plot points are shown, not plot holes. This is a good story if you want to do Grant Morrison's run. If you're going to pick it up just for the story itself, then you're going to be disappointed. But it does set a lot of elements in Grant Morrison's run on Batman. Next would be Batman and the Black Glove. Very much like Batman and Son, it sets up a lot, and a lot more to Grant Morrison's run. A lot happens into this. And where it works better in Grant Morrison's run than alone, it's still better than Batman and Son alone. So if you pick this up alone, it'll be okay. If you read this with the rest of Grant Morrison's run, it's fantastic. So Batman and the Black Glove. Next would be Batman Heart of Hush. Now, Heart of Hush is done by the fantastic writer Paul Dini, and is necessary because it really emphasizes on Batman's relationship with Catwoman, and it also builds on the character of Hush. This takes a lot of elements that was introduced in Hush and expands on it. It really fixes what I think are some of the problems that was in Hush. So you get to really see how much Batman feels towards Catwoman, and you get more depth to the character of Hush. Absolutely necessary if you're a fan of Hush or if you're a fan of Catwoman and Batman's relationship. And last on this list of essentials would be Batman R.I.P. Fantastic story, incredibly complex, and it takes quite a bit of graphic novels to tell. But this is showcasing how badass Batman is, and how he can get through anything, no matter what the odds are. He is the man. This is a fantastic story. It's complex. It has a lot of layers, a lot of depth, and it really makes you think. It may be intimidating the first time you go into it, but read it over and over again and you enjoy it more and more each time. Now that's all on this Batman Essential list thus far. No other Batman graphic novels has come out since Batman RIP. Don't worry, like I said, I'm going to do a Batman timeline where I'm going to showcase all the Batman stories that I have thus far. But these are the essentials that you should pick up if you're a new Batman fan. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped. If you have any questions or comments, please leave some, or any video responses, and I'll gladly watch them. And with that said, this is Andrew saying, peace out for now.